What? All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to Note Night in America. We're glad to be here this Monday, July. Wow. Where is the month going? Monday, July 16th. July is halfway over. The year's almost halfway over, everybody. I don't know about you, but that's freaking mind-boggling. Totally mind-boggling. If you guys are joining us for the first time here on Note Night in America, welcome. We're glad to have you. We have these webinars just about every Monday night on a different topic, as long as I'm not overseas or indisposed somewhere on vacation. But excited to be here. We have been consistent now for over 2 years, almost 3 years now. Wow, it's hard to believe that too as well. But we're excited to have you guys. Yes, the call's being recorded. The red light is on. Yes, we're live streaming this directly straight to Facebook Live as well. So if you have to skip out and watch us there, hey, Facebook Live, glad to hear you. Excited. We also record these. These are on iTunes and Stitcher under the Night in America podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, I'm hopped up on caffeine and Red Bull after only getting a couple hours of sleep last night from traveling back from Detroit, traveling back from driving all over Michigan, 3 days, 650 miles, over 51 asses looked at. We are jacked up to rock and roll tonight with you guys out there. But literally some great stuff for you guys to go through tonight. I know a lot of people, I'm not joking, I get so many messages, emails. Hey, Scott, I want to get rock and rolling. How do I do that? What's my step-by-step approach? And tonight is all about that, everybody. Just absolutely excited to be here. Steps to success. I don't know about you guys, but my dad, very religious, had a very strong faith, often used to have a picture about the footsteps in the sand. You know, 2 footsteps in the sand, and there's one pair of steps through it. And it's the guy walking with God. And it's not to be a religious thing, but basically say, hey, God, why did you leave me these times? And he's like, well, I didn't leave you. In those times, I was carrying you. I was helping you through a tight spot to get things rock and rolling. So tonight's a little bit about that. Help you guys get rock and roll. Though, if you guys are looking to get some success, you're looking to get started, you're bombarded, don't know what to do. Well, let me first of all share with you how I got started. Okay. I got started in the note business literally back in 2004 as a mortgage broker. 2004, 2008 was doing a lot of mortgage. Started learning creative financing from mentors. I mean, I had somebody taught me the basics in theory about the note business, but when everything hit the fan in 2008, when I left the mortgage industry and I was focused solely on the note business because of things, I was basically on my own. Okay. It was the wild, wild west back in 2008, 2009, 2010. And I learned how to do most of what I'm doing on my own, all by myself. Okay. It's a totally different time than it was 10 years ago. Totally different time. And honestly, I failed so many times. I goofed up so many times. I made so many mistakes, but I learned from my failures. And you know what? I was not born with a golden spoon or fork in my mouth. I was just, my parents, God bless them, taught me work ethic. They taught me the pride of doing some things and sticking to things. And so I literally, in 2008, I'd just gotten divorced. I was broke because I'd lost a lot of money on some fix and flips. And literally, I was renting not a one-bedroom house. I was renting a bedroom, okay? Most people don't know about this. For a while, I was renting a bedroom for $400 a month. I was at my low of lows of lows. I was so depressed, okay? I had to have my dog staying with friends. I would couch surf. I would sleep at the office on a couch that we kind of shared. Literally, I'd sneak in, sleep at night, leave to go take a shower somewhere. There was a period of time, literally for about 6 months, I was, didn't even have a bed. I had a futon mattress in the bedroom I was renting for $400 a month. So if you've been down, if you've got your country western song, you're going through the Big Dean, Don't Mean Dallas, you've had your car repoed, you've been arrested. I had a DWI twice at that time within 6 months. Not excited about that. And some people say I shouldn't share that, but I think you got to realize when you're down and then you have to get legal bills to pay on top of that, or you go to jail. I made a lot of mistakes back then, but the beautiful thing is I am not an overnight success. I am far from an overnight success. I'm a success still in the 10 plus years of making. I get so, my skin crinkles when people call me a guru or they call me a success. Oh, you're so amazing. You're just rock. Look, I'm still busting my ass. I love what I do, but I'm still going out there and making things happen. And I don't take no for an answer. And I sure as hell haven't taken no for an answer in the last 10 years. Oh, banks won't sell you those notes. You're not worthy enough. I'm like, well, if they would sell me notes and I can make it happen, you know, the beautiful thing, I just kept calling banks. I kept calling banks and using the free tools that were available. I kept posting deals to my email, to my emails, and also on Facebook.com and LinkedIn. And you know what I did? I kept working at it, and suddenly one day, the phone finally started ringing with people say, "Hey, we see what you're doing. We want to buy your deal. We want to joint venture with you. We want to do deals with you." Because the fact is, I kept pushing and pushing, and literally between 2008 and 2010 was a really tight 2-year phase of my life. Okay, very tight phase of my life. But 2010, I then boom. Started getting phone calls. I started having people reach out to me because they saw the deals that I was doing. And look, I was flipping notes. I was making $6,000 on a wholesale flip, $35,000 on a 6-unit apartment complex in San Diego, $50,000 on a 21-unit apartment complex note deal that I bought and flipped, $100,000 on an LA 16-unit that I flipped the note on. I started off wholesaling notes because I didn't have the money. And a big chunk of that money was going to investors from bad deals previously because the market had changed. Okay. But the phone kept ringing, and I kept making deals happen. I would get a listing, and I would find a way to make it work to the point that in 2010, I started teaching. People started coming to me. People actually started paying me to fly out and speak at events. And life has never been changed. I literally made a name for myself out of nothing. Okay? Most people don't know that. Most people only see the social media stuff. Most people only see the last couple years. They don't know the fact that in 2010, I sold everything, went on the road for 3 years straight. Okay. I literally went on the road 3 years straight because it was great. It was an opportunity of a lifetime at that time. Yeah. Just me and the dog, me and Princess road tripping it. Okay. Looking at assets, making offers, making things happen. So I made a name for myself, but it's been an overnight success taking 10 years for me. Okay. And I made one promise. Okay. I made a promise myself one night to God, if you ever get me out of this, I promise you that I want to help as many people along the way as possible. I know I'm not the only person going through a rough patch. If I can get out of this and I can make this happen, if I ever make it, I want to help as many people along the way. Made it is different for everybody, right? Perseverance does pay off. You're right, Lisa. But that's the thing is I don't want you to think that I'm better than anybody out here because I'm not. Okay. I promised that I wanted to give real info. I didn't want to blow smoke up anybody's ass. I didn't want to feed anybody a line of bullshit. I wanted to provide real info, real nuggets, real tools that work. Okay. Info that works in today's market, not 2 years from now, not 6 years from now. And that's what I've repeatedly seen over and over in the last 10 years. People come in. Oh, we're not going to do deals anymore because teaching is so much more profitable. I'm like, really? If you're doing deals are a lot more profitable than speaking. But if you're actually doing the deals, but so many people get lazy and do it. Okay. Look, and I also wanted to show you that this normal guy could do it. This guy is sweating his ass off, who's getting hung up on, literally can do it. We make this work, that you can do this too. Okay. That you can do what I teach. You can literally go out and buy distressed debt. You can make this business work for you if you follow step-by-step instructions. If you follow the specific things that I teach on a regular basis, and the proof is in the pudding. Chris Christensen, hey Scott, were you able to help Mr. Blazer? I'm not sure you mean by Mr. Blazer. Drop me an email, Chris. I'm running on about 3.5 hours of sleep, but that's okay. All right. So in the last year, we set a goal at the beginning of the year over the next 5 years to help create and educate 10,000 note investors. I want to help so many people get out of bad situations. And somebody asked me last night when I mentioned, or the other night when I mentioned this, won't that just water down the market? I'm like, that's such a closed, because there's plenty of inventory out there. There are still plenty of deals. No, I'm not the only one thinking that. No, I'm not the only one doing that. There are still plenty of deals out there to make things happen. But tonight, I want to give you a little caution. Beware, okay? And this is just not for tonight. This is out in the industry itself. Okay? Beware. Not all educators are doing deals. Not all everybody that says, "Ooh, I'm the latest, greatest, I'm the newest," are doing deals. They don't do deals. Okay? I can guarantee you. About 75% of if not more, of the educators aren't actually doing deals anymore. They stopped doing deals. Okay? I will also tell you this, that not all educators are entrepreneurs. If somebody who's not teaching you is still working for somebody, they're not an entrepreneur. And an hourly employee can never teach an entrepreneur how to succeed in business, how to succeed in life, because they've not had the balls to let go of that, W-2, 40-hour work week to go out and make it happen. All right? And if you're happy with your job, that's completely fine. I am not talking about you. But there's people out there that put themselves on as, "Oh, I'm an educator, I'm an entrepreneur." Exactly. You're not really. You're still working for somebody. And if somebody tells you they've never done a bad deal, they haven't done a lot of deals. Because every investor that I know that has been around for 10 years or more than the last 3 years has had good deals and bad deals. And you learn more from the bad deals than you do the good deals. And you learn more about yourself and how you overcome those bad deals by taking care of your investors and overcoming and making things happen. And you say next. Because that's really the only truly way you dig yourself out of a hole, is just keep doing deals. Keep doing deals, learn what your mistakes are, and go out and knock it out of the park, okay? And you also have to evolve in this market. Not all investors are evolving with the market. People, like I said before, are still trying to do business 2 years, like it was 2 years ago, okay? If you're still out chasing seconds, no offense to seconds investors, it's gotten a little tight out there. If you're out there chasing ideal first liens, pristine, it's got a little tighter. Yes, in Florida, in Georgia, and those hot markets, Texas, hot is literally 160 degrees here today. All right. There are plenty of other markets out there that there's opportunities that you have to evolve with what's available to make things work. If you are sitting there bitching and complaining that you can't find deals, you're part of the problem and you're not part of the solution. I'm a big believer in solutions, and you have to know that about me, okay? And honestly, in today's market, there are 3 primary, and I say this, true investors or educators out there that are focused purely on paper. There's really only 3 of us that are focused purely on the paper side. Now, there are some that do the paper and then do the real estate, whatever, fix it. That's great. That's fine. But there's really only 3 people solely focused on paper. You have Donna Bauer, who's been around, who's, the original investor. She focuses on owner finance notes and primarily performing paper, although she does a little bit non-performing stuff. We were on a radio interview together last week, and Donna's a good friend. You have Eddie Speed, Note School, focus on owner financing, performing paper, does a little bit of the non-performing side. All right. Eddie's been around for 30 years in the owner finance business. Nobody can beat 30 years of owner financing. All right. I've never taken one of his classes. He's never taught me. But you have to respect that kind of experience in the business because he's been around for a long time. And then, of course, the third person, you have me, which I'm pretty almost solely focused on non-performing paper. Now, I like performing paper, but I use my non-performing note business to get a bigger discount, bigger deals, so that when I do get turning into performing, it works out really well and the returns are really, really there. Those are the basically big 3 out there. Yes, you've got Sue Nelson on commercial deals, REOs. She does notes and REOs for the most part, but not solely focused on the paper. We talked about Don Rickenbaugh. There's a few of the others out there that are kind of dabbling in things, but they're not really truly focused on both sides. And by pissing anybody off, I'm talking about investors and educators. There are plenty of investors out there buying paper. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's primarily 3 investor educators out there that have at least a decade of experience. And I'm excited that, hey, I've got over a decade of experience now. I never thought I would say that looking back 10 years ago, but it's been a crazy 10-year ride. So anyway, this was a cartoon that came out a little while ago. All right. And whether you believe it or not, this tsunami is about to hit Wall Street again. In the next 6 to 12 months, you're going to see a tsunami of paper again hit the market, a second wave. I'm a big believer in this. Like it happened in 2008. Well, people are making the same mistakes again. You see things happening. When markets change, things are going to happen like they did, like it was 2008 again. Like it, and before 2008 was like the RTC days. Okay. You have ups and downs in every market. We've been riding the waves up the last 10 years. It's going to eventually change and start turning south. Okay. And the idea is to be prepared for that change, not to stress about it. Okay. But to focus on the good things that you can take advantage of and the opportunities out of problems. Remember, we talked about solutions, opportunities. Those are the things you want to keep in mind tonight, okay? Those are the things that are important. If you constantly focus on the problems and the negatives and don't focus on the solutions or the ways to get around a problem, you will not be successful at anything entrepreneurial. You will not be successful at anything real estate-wise, because that's what real estate is all about, everybody. As an investor, is taking a problem and creating a solution. Taking a non-performing problem, like non-performing note, and turning it into performing, or turning it into foreclosure, turning it into something that you can make money off of, because that's how we make money in the note business, by taking problems and turning them to solutions, okay? So for those that don't know, I do own a real estate investment company called Inverse Asset Fund, Inverse Ventures. I got about a dozen different LLCs that I own out there that I'm investing with on a regular basis when I'm buying assets, okay? And that actually takes up the majority of my time. I'm actually buying assets on a regular basis because it is where I make most of my money. And there's a true statement. The most of the money we make is coming off our real estate deals, the performing stuff that we get, the non-performing we're foreclosing through, the stuff that we're buying in bulk and then selling partials off to our students, or taking down a majority of stuff. I am buying assets on a regular basis, okay? I can send you plenty of assignments of mortgage and show that. If you're buying and flipping property and probably says, oh, I bought 100 of assets, great. Where are the HUDs? Where are the deeds of trusts? Well, I can show you plenty of assignments of mortgages, one of the mortgages that we have bought on residential commercial properties over the last 10 years, okay? And I've been featured, very lucky to have been featured in the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, Forbes, and CNBC, the Associated Press, the San Francisco Chronicle, the Washington Post, the Houston Chronicle, Bloomberg, whole variety of things. I've also been at plenty of awards and speaking events all across the country. All right. I was actually the Noteworthy Note Educator of the Year. I'm actually in the running for the Real Estate Educator of the Year right now. The Think Realty magazine just found that out the other day. Very excited about that. But I've spoken all across the United States and actually internationally too on note investing. That's why people call me the note guy. I turn problem properties into profitable solutions, and I teach other investors how to do this. Okay. I'm very proud of that fact, and I'm excited at the opportunities that are available, because there's never been a better time to be doing deals like we are now. Okay. And I want to welcome all of you here. And what you see in front of you is a picture of one of my mastermind groups from about 2 years ago. We have a mastermind meets on a regular basis. It's me right there in the middle. And if you look closely, you'll see familiar faces out there. Other educators, I should put quotation marks, other people out there with different things. You'll see in this photo, you see the guys from the Note MBA podcast. I'm proud Robbie is a student of ours, was a student of ours, I should say. He's done a very good job going from being a deadbeat baller to being a successful note and real estate investor. And his cohort in crime, Chase, used to work for us for a couple of years. You got Jay Tenenbaum behind me, who's closed on 300 assets. You got Kimberly Banks Foss, supposedly in the Note Investing Club or whatever like that, closed a couple hundred assets as a note investor with us. There are other people there. William Bonatti, who used to work for Gemini Capital Partners. Wayne Snell is in that photo somewhere in the back. Lots of people closing on lots of deals because of what we teach them. Here's another photo. And yes, there's me in the back of my mastermind group there. And in that group, you've got Wayne Snell and Natalie in the front. Once again, you've also got Gene Chandler there. You've got William Bonatti there. You've got Dan Satofsky sitting right next to Robbie Woods in there. All right. So I like to work with a lot of people that come from different varieties, because it doesn't matter what you've done in the past. Okay. But there are some things that I know from working with so many people on who will be the most successful with what I teach. No, you don't have to have a mortgage broker's license. No, you don't have to have a real estate license. You have to have some general knowledge of real estate. Okay. You got to have some understand what a mortgage is, understand what a note is, or understand what a piece of property, an REO is. Okay. We get a lot of people that want to use their IRAs to invest in real estate because they've heard about notes from Quest IRA or their self-directed IRA company. Oh, notes are great. I want to learn more about that. Okay. We also have a lot of people looking to transition to a new career to earn money investing on the side. Hey, they want to leave their job in a couple of years, or they want to get out of that job in the rat race, or they're looking to retire. They want to do something different because they're bored with stuff. We get a lot of those that are, I call them transition investors. They're moving from one source of income, trying to add a second one, that their second one that really becomes their passion, or it's their passion that ends up feeding other things, other loves that they love, other charities or causes in their life. Okay. And I will tell you right now, if you aren't coachable, or you're one of these people out here that constantly flakes off or doesn't follow through with something, I don't want you. You might as well hang up, log off, go do something else on this Monday night or Tuesday night if you're watching the replay. If you're listening to this on iTunes, you might as well go do a different thing. But if you're one of these people that aren't coachable or don't follow through or think you know best, I don't want you. The only way I got ahead in life was being coachable and learning and asking a ton of questions and working my way through things. If I thought I knew everything, I'd have been bankrupt and broke a long time ago. Yes, I was bankrupt and broke at a time when the market changes, but I would have lost my ass in this business because the note business is not like the fix and flip business. It's not like the landlord business. Okay? It is something unique to itself. And I don't care if you've done 40 fix and flips or you've owned rental property for 10 years. It is not the same thing. It is something completely different. There's a lot of legislation. There's a lot of rules that are involved with the note business and the debt business that you need to know. And whether you like it or not, everybody who is watching this, everybody out there is in the note business. They're just on the wrong side. If you have a house with a mortgage on it, you're in the note business, but you're the one paying the bank. Student loans, student debts, car payments. Okay? It's George says, right? There's never too late to learn, but most of you are in the note business. You're just on the wrong side. So tonight it's all about learning what's on the other side and how to get into it where you're actually getting payments versus just making out payments. Okay. All right. So, and I always like to start things off a little bit by talking about some of the deals that we're working on. Literally just got back this morning, literally flew into Dallas at 1 o'clock, flew down this morning back to Austin, my home in Austin, Texas. After spending the last 3 days up in Michigan, of all places, it was nice 85 degrees, looking at assets. And we literally looked in 3 days, looked at 51 assets. And here's just a chunk of some of the assets we looked at. Now, out of that 51, 14 of them were assets that I already own. And the rest of those 37 were assets that hedge funds sent me or banks sent me to take a look at, to buy for my own portfolio, to cherry pick from if I wanted to. And literally, these are just a handful of some of the great assets we're excited about to be added to our portfolio here. Literally got it counters back today. We're getting some new comps pulled. I'll be closing on these assets in the next couple of weeks. So I just bring that up because I am a guy that walks the walk. Okay. I'm a guy that makes deals happen. I make offers. I go through it. We're working through assets on a regular weekly basis. But the beautiful thing is I have a lot of vendors that help me out with my business. I don't have to have a huge staff like you would. I'll give you an example. If you're a landlord, a big fix and flip company, you're going to probably need a lot of employees coming in. I don't want that. I want to run a tight ship and make things happen. When you only need a couple employees or a couple really good vendors to help you knock things out. So what can you discover today? Well, I'm going to talk about where to find real estate assets for at least 40, 50, 60% off. Okay. We'll show you how to go upstream to find your deals. So you beat out the flippers, the people bidding on foreclosures, and bank-owned or REO refugees, as we like to say. And we'll talk about some creative strategies for earning huge returns in real estate without having to fly around the country looking for deals or spending a ton of money on renovations or burn up your profits and closing costs, broker fees, and commissions. Yes, I jumped on a plane and flew to Michigan to look at 50 assets. I don't usually do that. Usually I'm buying assets from the comfort of my own house and stuff all across the country because there's vendors out there to do that. But I literally jumped on a plane because I thought, let's get out there and show people how we do it. Okay. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to explain first of all, what a non-performing notes are for those that are brand new and how to profit from it. I'm going to give you some examples from some of the deals I've done so you can copy how I do them and make money yourself. Okay. Finally, I'm going to give you a quick overview of my note buying blueprint training, which is actually on sale today. All right. We'll walk you through each section of the training so you can see what you will learn if you decide to invest in the step-by-step blueprint. Okay. Sounds fair? Great. I am not a hard sales guy, guys. I've had a lot of requests about questions about what's going on my note blueprint. So we thought, hey, let's go through it tonight. Does that sound good to all of you? Yes, no, maybe. Thank you for the yeses. I got a few texts here. All right. Awesome. Good stuff. Thank you, Russ. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. All right. That might be Eric Hyde, Mr. Dirty Sanchez. All right. Good stuff. Mr. George. Awesome. Good stuff. All right. Perfect. Let's move on here. So let's get started here. In the beginning section of my note buying blueprint, okay, I do spend a big chunk of doing a deep dive into the note market and why it's positioned for such explosive growth and when this note mortgage bubble finally pops. That's one of the first things that we talk about. You got to know what's going on in the market, why it makes sense to be a note investor. I think we can all agree to that, right? Just bring that up to touch base with you on that there real fast, okay? So starting there, just so you know, if you look at the data, and this is from distresspro.com, my buddy Brett Palumbo, okay? There are still 4,500 plus banks out there who have bad debt in their books, which they have bad debt that they need to get rid of, okay? All right. Scott, just drop me an email at scott@weclosenotes.com. We'll talk more about the mastermind later on. We're not going to talk about it tonight. All right. But out of those banks, these are the bad loans with past due loans secured by real estate, okay? Now, usually the asset is worth quite a bit more than the loan itself, okay? All right. Or the property still has some underlying value, right? I think we all agree to that, okay? Which means if you're willing to do some administrative work, usually someone would spend a few $1,000s on legal bills, you can often gain back control or ownership of the underlying property at 30, 40, even 50% of fair market value. Now, what does that mean? Well, you buy that debt and hire attorneys, hire servicers to do the administrative legal work for you, okay? And the foreclosure varies by state, but usually fast foreclosure states about somewhere between $1,500 to $2,000 or 3 to 5 in a longer foreclosure process. But if you're still picking an asset at 30, 40, 50% of what's the value is, a fair market, not after repair value, but as is, you've got plenty of room in there to absorb those costs to make really nice profits. So you see house prices, right? Right now is really the best note investing market out there. You see prices are going up and up and up. This is just, I should have increased this a little bit. But if I were to update this slide here, those numbers would be even further up in 2018 as well, okay? Real estate prices are rising nationally because demand keeps growing. We all know this. There's markets literally pricing out the low-end buyers. Affordable housing is such a big, big need right now out there, okay? 2, number of people who are late in their mortgage is increasing, okay? Yes, national default rate is right about 3.9%, all right? In part in Florida and Texas, surprise of all state, it's actually increasing in there, okay? Most importantly, the number of adjustable rate mortgage, which received bailouts in 2008 and 2010, is increasing rapidly as well. What do I mean by that? Well, when you had a lot of bailouts happen or you had a lot of people doing loan mods, they got a adjustable rate mortgage, basically. It's fixed for a year at 2%. After that, it changes to 3%. A year later, it goes to 4%. That's an arm in itself, okay? And we're also starting to see ARM or adjustable rate mortgages come back in the marketplace now again to retail buyers. Okay, it's a sad, sad thing. Now, if you want to make money in the note market, you've got to get started right away. Okay, and the next, really, right now, between now and the end of the year, is a huge opportunity you don't want to miss because it gives you an opportunity to get your feet wet, and the banks are always selling at the end of the year at bigger discounts. So it gives you the next 90 days to the 1st of October to get things rock and rolling so that come the fourth quarter, November, December, January, you're able to cash in, okay? And so I've got my, literally, my note buying blueprint normally, I just wanted to bring this up. It's normally $27.97, but I said earlier we've got a special on it today. It's for $9.97, $1,800 off, lots of bonuses to it. For those that are going to ask throughout it, just throw this out there. Yes, you can do a one-time payment of $9.97. If you go to scottcarsonwebinar.com, scottcarsonwebinar.com, click on the link there. That'll take you to, it'll give you an option there for the $9.97 or even break it down as well, because that's what I normally sell my training at. My note buying blueprint is normally $27.97. Go to my website, you'll see it like that. Yes, I do offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. Moving on. But before we go into how to buy notes, which is explained step-by-step detail in Module 2 of the Note Buying Blueprint, let's talk about what a note is anyway and how does it work, okay? A real estate note is an agreement between a borrower and a lender. That's principal, which is the amount that owed, and has interest payments paid monthly, okay? So the person is wanting to buy a house, takes a loan out from somebody or a bank, okay? These agreements, the loans themselves, are bought and sold regularly by banks, hedge funds, and sophisticated investors like myself and my students. I'm sure if you've ever gotten a mortgage on a house, at some point, probably a month, 2 months later, you got a letter that your note had been sold. See, that's what happens. A note's created, it funds in a transaction, the bank has its paper, and they often sell that note off to other investors. Usually it's a lot of performing notes, somebody paying on time that they sell off, but they also sell off non-performing at huge discounts, okay? And these notes, when they bundle up together or bring them all together, they usually have a yield or a return on investment, depending on the credit of the borrowers, of anywhere from 4 to 12%, depending on the credit of the borrower and how the original note was structured. And what happens oftentimes is banks bundles a lot of these up and they sell them off to Wall Street for the most part. But there's a lot of banks that don't do that. There's a lot of banks that hold on to these loans for their own portfolio. Don't do enough to sell them off to JP Morgan Chase or Manhattan or Credit Suisse or things like that. But they still have a lot of debt on their books that they're holding. Okay, debt that they're collecting on. Okay, now you can go out in the note market and purchase these performing notes on a regular basis, roughly make anywhere from 4 to 12% of your money. Okay, and that's actually far better than what most landlords do. If you think about yields on rental property and then the time that they have of fixing flipping or fixing it up or the vacancy factors, a lot of times most landlords end up being happy with a 12% return. Me, I want to do far better. Okay, and Madison Management is a loan servicing company. They also have a loan portal. You can buy performing notes on those loan portals. Okay, like I said before, there are far higher returns when you deal in non-performing notes because you make money by rehabbing the borrower. Okay, I know it sounds risky, but let me show you why it's actually not nearly as risky as you might first think. Okay, a non-performing note is where, just so you know this, the borrower is not making regular payments. Okay, the borrower has not made regular payments for some time, 6 to 9 months or longer. The borrower isn't paying because of a negative equity. They owe more than their property is worth, or the borrower may be long gone, not even living there anymore. They may have moved out and said, sayonara, baby. See you later. Okay, there are some of those things that you got to keep in mind. All right. The secret is that banks cannot own an unlimited amount of these assets in their books. They've got to move them off their books. It's why banks are highly regulated by the FDIC. Okay, they got to write off their bad debts periodically, or they become insolvent and must shut down and go out of business. Something will avoid at all costs. This is why you often see banks holding on to assets because they're looking to sell some stuff off. There's an article actually out earlier today, I believe, talking about all these banks holding on to capital. Well, it's because they got bad debt in their books. They're looking to sell some of the stuff off. So they're technically forced to take the loss, or we call it write off the loan. Okay. Now, they often will sell these guys, and we like to say greedy hedge fund managers. I guess you could throw me in there as well. These hedge fund managers often fight each other for opportunities to buy up these bad debts from the banks. Who are dumping them in order to remain compliant. Sorry, I misspelled that wrong. Compliant, not complaint. These bad debts, by the way, are still secured by perfectly good real estate underneath the bad debt. Okay. Because that real estate still has some underlying value to it. It has some really good value. Somebody's willing to live in it, okay? And you think you got to keep in mind, excuse me here, they're still really good properties. Most of them, there's often some underlying value, and depending on the value, the location, the foreclosure time frames, how bad the loan is, and how far defaulted it is, banks often sell these at a huge discount. So if you simplify it all down, okay, you can buy the bad debt, all right, for far less than the real estate and then end up owning or controlling the actual real estate, okay? That's how you buy real estate assets at 20, 30, 40% discount to fair market value, as is values, okay? Think about that. If I could go out there and buy a mortgage, become the bank, and then foreclose, but if they owed 100, the house is worth 80, but I could pick it up for 40,000 and then work with a homeowner to maybe keep them in their property, have them keep paying that $750, $800 a month. Well, if I can get them paying $750 a month to start and take over their payments again, $100,000 mortgage, 750 times 12 is $9,000. $9,000 on a $40,000 or say $45,000 investment. That's a 20% return right there. If you hold on to it for 12 months and sell it off at $75,000 later on, you just made another $35,000 on your $40,000 investment. Okay. Remember these deals we were talking about earlier? That's what we're working on. That's why I went to Michigan to take a look. And it's just not in Michigan. I buy in Ohio and Illinois and Indiana. Okay. Literally looking at over $500,000 worth of debt that we can pick up for less than $200,000. That's less than 40 cents of as is value. Not what's owed, but as is value. And these assets, when we drove by, all these assets were owner-occupied. Okay? All these were owner-occupied. There were either cars in there or they were relatively new. You could tell it was occupied. And that's just the bank who made the loans wants to get rid of these, wants to sell these at a discount. Okay? Roughly, it's about 45%. Actually, on some of them, less is below that. Sometimes it's 35. But on average, about 40% of what we've seen on these things, they're not bad-looking properties. Okay? And now, yes, they're not million-dollar assets, but they're assets worth $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in good markets, blue-collar, not a lot of blight, all right, in great little areas. Blue-collar individuals is what I love working with, okay? So let's talk about what's going on exactly, too. So in module number 2 of my note buying blueprint, we cover exactly how to find note deals and which services to use and which to avoid. We talk about, oops, hang on here. Let's go back that. You can see on here, you can actually see this is the screenshot of what we covered. Foreclosure list services, distressed assets and short sales, finding how to reach the right banks, finding which banks to call, finding banks and asset managers in LinkedIn, calling banks, online resources for you, online resources for you using your due diligence, scripts, short evaluation checklists. We give it all to you in there, okay? And once you have found your note deals by contacting banks or contacting hedge funds or using foreclosure list services, digging through online exchanges or list services still available out there, or networking with other note investors, you've got to get your deal funded, right? And that's exactly what module number 3 is about. I cover exactly how to get your deals closed with using other people's money, okay? And you see right there, we talk about social media websites, groups for crowdfunding, how to raise money from family and friends and people who trust you. We talk about actually show you some sample deals to use and the types of deals they expect when using notes to help raise capital. We'll talk about how to set up your IRA to buy real estate, okay? And we'll show you our proven system to find IRA investors all across the country who are itching to do deals. Literally show you step-by-step how we do it, okay? And once again, guys, all my training here, the best of the best is normally $27.97, but today we're doing a special price for $9.97. Offer up a 60-day money-back guarantee if you don't like it. Literally, you can go to scottcarsonwebinar.com, click on the link, and get signed up for this. And yes, today only at $9.97. If you've got to do a stretch pay, we can set it up with 3 monthly installments to split that up as well for you, okay? Now, let's talk about it, okay? Let's talk about some of those things. You can see here how to get these deals closed. Let's talk about some of those things here. 3 sample deals showing you what to expect when investing in notes for investors. Here's some of the sample things we do, okay? Here's exactly a sample deal. Okay? This is a deal I bought and sold in Palm City, Florida. This is a great little house. Okay. Great little, actually a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. Took me about 6 months to get this thing done. Actually, it took a little bit longer because of delays and stuff, but we still made a $40,000 profit. And our funding partner was often like that. Okay. Lisa says, coming on here, Lisa says, looks like little pots of gold to me. They were little pots of gold. Exactly. That's why I'm so excited. Mr. Sanchez says, how long does it usually take for the average person to get through your course? You know what? I don't know, Mr. Sanchez. I don't keep track of people's videos. It's all delivered via video, and we've got some variety of different things. So we'll cover that more so at the end for you. All right. Here's another one. This is a loan modification. I actually, quite a few people have used these as sample deals to help raise capital. Here's one where the borrower was trying to do a loan modification for 4 years till we bought the note and we're able to keep them in the house, and they're still paying to this day. Okay. And then here's another one. Sometimes you get lucky. Banks will sometimes have REOs in there when they think it's a note. And this was a deal that literally the borrower had signed the property over to the bank. And when I got the loan file, the deed in lieu was literally sitting on top of the file folder. First page in it, just had to file it, could turn around and sell the property with a realtor. Okay. Let's talk about, you need to get your deals funded. In Module 3, I cover exactly through social media websites and groups for crowdfunding, how to raise money from family and friends. Once again, I'll give you the sample deals I just showed you. We show you how to set up your IRA, especially with like Quest IRA, who's phenomenal to get that funded, and how to start putting money in your IRA too if you want to do that. And then we also, if you don't have IRA investors, we'll show you how to find them in just about every county in America in your neighborhoods to reach out to it. Okay. Once again, normal training is usually normal $27.97. Today it's $9.97. We're giving $1,800+ off on it. Lots of bonuses coming in. Okay. Once again, scottcarsonwebinar.com. is the website to go to. Now, once you buy a note, there's a multitude of ways to make money on your note. All right. Basically about 9 exit strategies and how we use each one is one of the first things we talk about. Okay. We cover how to add value to your note deals, how you can sell them for a nice profit. Okay. Talk about wholesaling. Okay. Talk about reinstatement. All right. We talk about modification, getting a loan modified, or trial payment plans. We talk about loan assumptions. We often have the borrowers or friends and families of the borrowers take over the payments. Section number 5 and module number 4 is all about the short sale. Okay. You can do some short papering. Talk about how to get a deed in lieu or cash your keys from your homeowner, your borrower. Okay. 7 is our least favorite exit strategy. That's foreclosing if we have to, but we still end up doing it about half the time. 1, we also then talk about, hey, selling the note. Maybe it's a note that you don't want to take to foreclosure. Maybe it's in a longer market. We'll talk about how you make money selling the note is something you don't take to foreclosure. And then number 9 is one of our favorite exit strategies is to sell the reperforming note. Once you've gotten a note, you buy it non-performing, get it reperforming, and then turning back around and reselling the note off, okay? Great ways to do that stuff. Lots of exit strategies in this business, lots of flexibility. This is why it's awesome to be a note investor, because you can itch your itch if you want to do things a different way. There's too many times real estate investors are out there trying to add too many tools to their tool belt. I want to flip this property. I want rental property. They're running around like a chicken with their head cut off, okay? The best way to get ahead and be focused is to be focused on one thing, not 12 different things, but one way of attracting deals, okay? Asal says, thank you, Asal. Asal Aldre says, I paid over $4,000 3 years ago, and it wasn't recorded. This is very valuable. Yeah, Asal, yeah, that's right. You and Charles Wilson actually split up the coaching. I think it was like 10 at that time, but maybe not. Maybe it was 4. I don't know. Yeah, you guys split up the actual one-on-one coaching at that point. Yeah, 4 days. It was exactly 4 days. It doesn't take 4 days to get through the training now. Okay. Also, guys, I give you a very long list of my most valuable templates, scripts, and checklists when you buy the Note Buying Blueprint. All right. We also throw in some limited time bonuses as well, too. These are an additional $2,100 in value. I give you a 30-day note series that's usually $199. It's on the basics. That's literally help you build your right foundation for the right business at the front end, not try to piece it together at the back end like many people do. We've got a 30-day note marketing training module, which is phenomenal. That's actually been recently re-recorded and edited for some new stuff because marketing is constantly changing. I think we all can agree to that. All right. Thanks, Asal. I appreciate saying that. And then finally, we also have a very special 30-day private money training series, 30 videos. We usually sell that for $5.99. Okay. And we'll also throw in, this is a beautiful thing. We throw in a choice free ticket to either a virtual 3-day virtual note camp or if and when we have a live in hotel event. We're probably not going to do that anymore, but you want to just watch the replays, don't want to go to a hotel, don't want to sit through a 3-day workshop, that's great. You can get the replays included with that. We throw in a ticket to our 3-day in-person workshop so you guys can ask questions there live. I mean, that's just not recording, okay? George Crocker says, course is great and well worth whatever price Scott would charge. Very good. Thank you, George. George is a student of ours as well. George, do some great stuff there, man. Thank you for saying that. All right. Like I said, 30-day training series. Awesome stuff. So what do you need to do to get started? 30-day note marketing training. What do I need to do? What's the easiest way to market today? What's not hard? What's the best things that I need to do to get the biggest bang for my buck and my time? And then, of course, how to raise capital in today's market. This is people love this one. People beg for me to sell this by itself, and I don't do that usually. I've only done it once before, and I'm not doing it again. We keep it part of the Note Buying Blueprint. And then, of course, our free ticket to our workshop. 3-day Note Buying for Dummies workshop is usually $6.99 or $9.97, depending on if it's 3 days or 2 days. Okay? Once again, you go to scottcarsonwebinar.com to get signed up at the discounted price of $9.97. All right? And we've also I'm going to throw in another special bonus for you guys. Okay? Another special bonus. Well, hang on here. Internet's going goofy here. Sorry, guys. My other bonus is to throw you in a ticket to our upcoming Note Camp convention for you. All right. We're really excited about this. Our Note Camp convention is a 4-day event, and we host these twice a year. Literally, we have somewhere between 700 to 1,500 people attend. Normally, it's like somewhere between $397 and $599. $599 is price now, but our event, September 27th through the 30th, we'll have over 30-plus speakers going through different content, different subject matter when it comes to note investing, okay? So excited about this. This is one of our favorite events that we do twice a year, and we're going to throw this in as well if you sign up at scottcarsonwebinar.com, okay? Now, also, what's another thing that we love doing here? All right. Well, hang on here. All right. So we also are big fans of our past and present military. And if you're past or present military or first responder, we would love to comp you into one of our workshops. All right. Past or present military, first responder, we'll glad to comp you into one of our virtual workshops and into our note camp. Sorry, not our note camp, just a virtual note buying workshop for you, or the note buying blueprint. Okay. Now, if you've already been comped in before, great. Hey, don't be calling me, hey, comp me in again. Doesn't work that way. First timers, we're glad to have you comped in if you're past and present military and first responder. Thank you for your service. Thank you for helping us and keeping this country a lot free, and the best of it is. Okay. Gail says the note buying blueprint and virtual note buying dummies got me hooked on Scott's training methods. Knew then I wanted to go to the fast track training. It's been great, and I feel I've made great strides in a relatively short amount of time. That's right, Gail. You've done a great job. Gail, you bought over 10 notes, something like that, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 notes, something like that. You bought 6, or you bought 4, and you got another 6 accepted. I know you're close to double digits, right? Move on. So let's do a quick recap of what's being offered out there tonight for you guys, okay? Quick recap, just so you know what we are doing here, all right? We're doing one module. Module number 1, Introduction to Note Buying, the past, the present, the future. And I'll show you actually how to do 20 deals in 12 months to make 6 figures, okay? Gail's done 16. My apology, Gail. Congratulations. That's pretty good. 16 notes is pretty freaking spectacular, okay? Module 2, we'll talk about finding notes, where to find them, all the ways to find non-performing notes out there at huge discounts, okay? Lots of different ways, and somebody would say to skin a cat. But there's plenty of ways to find deals. That's all covered in module 2, the different ways to find deals out there, and that's the most important aspect, I think. Got to find a deal before you raise capital or do anything else, right? Module 3, talking about getting your deals funded, right? Module 4, the different exit strategies, because that's important. You got to know what the heck to do when you have something, okay? What do I do with what I got, okay? What do I do now that I've bought something? Those are the 4 major modules in our note buying blueprint. And then, of course, we also throw in our sample forms, a whole checklist of different things. We also will throw in some great bonus training sections. Remember, basics, marketing, private capital, and then, of course, throw in a ticket to our virtual note buying workshop. Now, our next virtual note buying workshop is actually this weekend, okay? This Friday, Saturday, Sunday, July 20th through 22nd. If you're watching this after that, don't worry about it. We have them usually once a quarter. So I know we do have one slated for the first weekend of December, and we probably will have another one sometime in October, if not the last weekend of November, not first weekend of December. So the 30th, 1st, and 2nd, right at the end of November is the next time we have one. But the beautiful thing is we record those workshops. So that's also included in. You get a copy of the recordings to be able to watch those along with our home study course, the Note Buying Blueprint, which is phenomenal. All right, lots of great things on there. We bring on vendors. We bring on experts. We really dive into the nuts and bolts, the due diligence, the breaking down the assets, how to structure these deals, go into a lot more things. I can't do it all in an hour-long webinar, but I can do it in videos that you can watch at your own pace, or give you a workshop to go through, or give you the replays to the previous workshop so you can go back and watch those now, so that when you do go through the live workshop, more of it sinks in and you understand it. Sometimes you've got to hear these things 2 or 3 times for you to fully understand what's going on in the business, okay? And then also, we also love to throw in Note Camp Convention. We're going to throw that as a special offering for those that are part of the Note Buying Blueprint, our Note Camp Labs. It's the 6th time we've done this. We're excited about this. We'll have 2 rooms going simultaneously, speakers on one side, and then we'll do deep dives in another room that you can just watch from the comfort of your own home or office. Some of the things we'll be covering in our lab side: due diligence, legal, okay, asset protection. We'll do a lot of case studies, all right? I'm literally bringing in attorneys from just about every state in the country to talk about the foreclosure timeframes, to talk about what to expect in those markets. If an attorney is licensed in 3 states, like Franco Barilli, and their office with Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, and Indiana, we'll bring them in and talk about all 4 states. So we're literally bringing in probably a dozen attorneys to spend time talking about their market, what to expect, and how you can use them to help you with your note business, okay? So let's throw this all together. Once again, our normally online price is $29.97. We got 4 amazing training modules, 3 special trainings, okay? That's over $1,000 value in just those 3 special trainings. Forms, contracts, agreements, usually $199, and a 200-plus page manual. Virtual note buying workshop, it's a 3 days nuts and bolts. That's usually $699 or $997, depends if it's a 2-day or 3-day. Our Note Camp Convention, which is $599. Add that all together, get well over $3,000, actually well over $6,000 worth of material that we'd sell you individually. Normally $29.97, but it's $997. Special pricing was a 60-day money-back guarantee. Now, the big thing I want to stress about this, I don't know anybody gives you a 60-day money-back guarantee. A lot of speakers will do a 3-day or a 7-day, or it's a 7-day, we won't return your money. I don't care. I'm a big believer that the proof is in the pudding. I'm a big believer if you sign up for a training and you go through everything, you're not going to want to return, because we pack so much great content into what we do. 60-day money-back guarantee. You go through the Note Buying Blueprint, and you're like the first day, first week, first month, like, Scott, this isn't for me. Let me know. We don't want you if you're not going to follow through, as I said on the beginning. If you're not coachable, or you're just one of these guys that signs up for everything, we don't want you. We want people that are going to take action and make things happen. So once again, sign up at scottcarsonwebinar.com. We get you signed up to a special offering for $997. All right. Once again, once you go there, that's what the website will look like. 6-day money-back guarantee. You can get over $1,800 off our normal price of $29.97 offered on the website. Okay. Now, a great thing too is we have a lot of success stories. You've already heard from people talk in the comments. Asal, if you're watching on Facebook, Asal mentioned the success. Gail Villanueva is doing a great job. Gail just basically been around for less than 60 days, less than 90 days, actually. All right. Lots of great people doing amazing things that we've helped out. Wayne Snell has closed well over 300-plus assets. Wayne, I think, took the entire month of June off to go hiking in the Alps and doing some great things. All right. Done a great job, closed over 300 deals. Jay Tenenbaum out of Phoenix has closed well over 300 deals since he's been around for the last 3 years. 3 years? I think it's 4 years now. Wayne's been around, and Wayne went from making 6 figures in a job to saying to his boss, take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. Now he's doing whatever he wants when he wants. Same thing with Jay. Had Jay on our podcast last week, just doing some amazing things. 300-plus deals each, not between, with both of them combined, each have done 300-plus deals. Now we throw in Cody Cox has done a great job. I think Cody's watching. Cody's done so well with his 30-plus deals while working full-time. We actually had him speak in April on Note Camp 5. Chris Saveni is one of our newest students, closed over 50 deals, and he's done it from taking the blueprint and reading our blogs and watching our videos that are aligned to along with the training. Done a tremendous job while still working full-time, okay? Some people out there, Kelly Banks Foss has done over 100 deals. Robbie Woods, you may be familiar with from the Note NBA podcast, has done a ton of other deals out there, note deals. I think he's over 80, she's over 100. Hey, where did they learn? They learned first here. All right. Gail Greenberg out of Philadelphia has done a great job. We had her speak last time. I think she's close to 50 deals as well. She's also Adam Adams. I got a chance to hang out with him for coffee in Flint this last week, and we were in town. Adam has done almost 100 deals. Okay. He's doing pools and done a tremendous job, basically chilling at home, and doing what he wants. And then we don't want to forget Eric Hyde, which was Gail's partner. I don't know why I could not find a better picture of you, Eric, but if Eric's listening out there, Eric's done a tremendous job. I think he's on deal number 20, 30, something like that. But partnered up with Gail, partnered up with some of the other students, and done a great job. And out there rocking and rolling, knocking things out of the park. Now, let's not forget Karen and Stacy Wall. I love their story. Karen still works full-time, enjoys what she does. Stacy retired from Bed Bath & Beyond. He was the guy that would go in and deal with distressed stores and get them working or get them closed. Tired of that, retired, and has been doing a tremendous job as a note investor. I think they're on over deal number 30, I believe. Out there, they've done a tremendous job, and we're just so proud of them. But these guys and gals are just a drop in the bucket with the other hundreds and hundreds of other successful investors and students that we've helped make successful. And like I said earlier on, I believe in giving people tools and the real deal stuff to go out and make things happen, not blow smoke, not tempt them. Oh, here's another upsell, sign up for another workshop, sign up for another workshop. This is why we put this all into this amazing package for each and every one of you to take advantage of, because it's basically got everything you need. And with our podcast and the other videos that we do on a regular basis, it'll help you keep up to date with what's going on in the market and help you make successful and smart decisions and not sit there and wonder what you should do because the market's changed. What do I need to do? Well, keep doing. Keep listening to what we do. Keep learning from other students. Keep learning from people out there. And we're very, very blessed. One other thing that I didn't include in here is that we have an amazing online community, amazing private Facebook group of amazing members, amazing people doing things, sharing resources, sharing vendors, sharing deals, partnering together on things. Our WCN Crew Facebook group is so active and so full of so many great people doing things. I'm very blessed to have just be the person that's helped facilitate a lot of this stuff together, put people together, put good people together, good things will happen, right? So, like I said before, we have a 5-year goal to help educate and create 10,000 note investors across the world, because we know there's another wave coming. We got another downfall coming. And if I knew what I knew, if I would have known 10 years ago what I know now, would have been a completely different story. I could have helped a whole lot more people in the last 10 years. Well, I have a big goal, big heart to really help make a lot of people successful, because there's still plenty of opportunity out there. There are still plenty of deals to go around. And it's not one of these things, oh, you can't find it's overpriced because the newbie's coming in. That's not the case, everybody. If you do the work and you listen to what I tell you and what everybody else tells you that's in the economics and the other people that are looking at numbers, there's plenty of opportunity, and it's only going to get better. Okay? So once again, guys, get signed up today at $9.97, ScottCarsonWebinar.com. We'd love to have you as a student. Love to help make you successful. All right. Love to have you there. Love to have you sign up and then be here this weekend or be online with me this Friday, Saturday, Sunday for 3 information-packed days from 9 to 5 on Friday, Saturday, and then 9 to 3 on Sunday. Literally no bullshit, no upsells, no pitching. Literally show you how to really learn how to be a true note investor. All right? I'm going to become a lien lord, not a landlord, not an REO refugee, but learn how to rehab the borrower and make a buku of money, because that's what it's all about, making money, right? But also helping people out there. So once again, it's $9.97 out there. Are there any questions from anybody out there that's watching still? If you're any questions from anybody out there watching on Facebook Live or asking questions out there, okay? If you want to know more information, what goes into our fast track for Mastermind, drop me an email separately at scott@weclosenotes.com. I can give you a phone call later tomorrow and we catch up on that. But guys, we've got a lot of great information that goes into our note buying blueprint. It's a step-by-step way to help you make things happen. And one thing I didn't even mention there is you've got unlimited email and phone support. If you need help with something, you drop us an email. If you need help with something, pick up the phone, give us a phone call. We put you in an online portal in our classes, so you've got the other hundreds of people taking the class each quarter to network with, to talk with, to ask questions about things back and forth, okay? It's just not me, just not my staff. You've got other successful people there willing to help you take your business to the next level, because we all have one thing in common. We all put our pants on one leg at a time, and we all had to start somewhere brand new, all right? All had to start somewhere new. Okay. Once again, ScottCarsonWebinar.com. Hopefully it's helpful for you guys. There's no any other questions.